Do you also constantly feel behind in your finances? Ever since I started earning my first penny 10 years ago, I've always wished that someone could show me where I should be financially. So on my 25th birthday, I'm doing what I much needed back then, revealing my full net worth. Even though, honestly, it's kind of terrifying to share. Hello, my name is April and I'm a 25-year-old software engineer living in Seattle. If you can tell already, it's my birthday today! Well, it's not actually my birthday today, but it will be my birthday week when this video goes out. So I'm doing something special this birthday. Something that I always want to share, but then I'm too afraid to, which is to reveal my full net worth. Before we start, there's a couple of disclaimers that I wanted to make and a couple of things that you should know. I started working my first minimum wage job when I was 16, which is basically 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, I feel so old. When I went to college, my parents were gracious enough to pay for my tuition, and I also didn't have to take out any student loans. So I started saving money for about 10 years at this point, but I didn't start investing until 2023. So there's not much compound interest going on at this moment. Moreover, I make 6 figures as a software engineer, but then I also live in Seattle, which is a high cost of living area. If you're curious about how much it is to live here, I've also made a vlog about how much I spent in a week in the past over here, so make sure to check that out if you're curious. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel as I'm intending to make a lot more money ramble vlogs. But with all of that out of the way, let's get started with my finances. Okay, so in order to calculate my net worth, we first need to know my assets, which is everything that I own, and my liabilities, which is everything that I owe. So let's start with the liabilities over here. For liabilities, I don't have any student loan, but I do have a car loan. About a year and a half ago, I bought my first car, which is a Subaru Forester Premium. To be honest, it was a pretty tough battle to do all the negotiation with the dealers, as well as negotiating for a good interest rate for my car. But I did make a video about it back in 2024 about things that you should know before getting a car as a young adult. That video is pretty old, so I don't think it's the best in its video quality, but I do think that the lessons that I learned in that video is still applicable to this day. But that aside, currently I have about $1,300 in my car loan. I bought my car for $32,000 and I took out a loan of $22,000, but I've already been paying this account for over a year at this point, so I'm left with about $13,000 in this account. And that is my one and only liability, so that means that my total liabilities is $12,938. Now we can go ahead and talk about my assets, which is everything that I own. So I break down my assets into 5 groups, which is my car, cash, interest accounts, tax advantage accounts, and then finally stocks and crypto. Let's get started with my car first. As I already mentioned that I bought my car for $3,200. By the way, I am including my car in my net worth because I am open to the idea of selling it if by any chance I somehow move to New York or any city abroad. So for my car, I estimate the value of it on Kelley Blue Book every single year, and I update the price of that accordingly. Since it's January, I just did my latest estimate and my car is currently valued at $24,354. This price dropped by about $4,000 from last year. So I guess the secondhand market is cooling off a little bit. Next on the list is my cash account. So when I talk about cash, it obviously includes cash, but it also includes my checking account, my saving account, just any account that I have that doesn't really earn interest at all. I currently have $13,209. I think this value probably dropped a little bit ever since I started taking medical leave, since I didn't have income and I had to use this money for my expenses. Next up on the list is my interest accounts. And when I say interest, it includes accounts such as my CD account, my treasury bills, money market funds, anything that actually earns a fair interest. I started building up this account when the interest rate was pretty high back in 2023. I think when I started it, it was at around 5%. As of now, I think it dropped to something around 3%. In this account, I have a total of $72,438. Honestly, I think this value is way too high. The reason of that is part of me is really scared to put money in the stock market, but because of that, I put a lot of money in an account that barely keeps up with inflation. I don't know. Coming up next is tax advantage accounts. So this is actually a pretty big portion of my net worth, as I have 3 different types of tax advantage accounts: HSA, 401k, and Roth IRA. I'm gonna quickly go through all of them in this video. First of all, HSA. It stands for Health Savings Account. I got it through my medical insurance at work. So every single month, I contribute to this account before I get deducted taxes, and I can use this account anytime I want on any healthcare related expenses. But an added benefit of this is that I can also invest this account in the stock market and I won't get taxed for any capital gain. So I definitely max it out every single year. As of right now, I have $9,400 in my HSA account. I started contributing to this account when I first started my big girl job at Amazon as a software engineer. And I would say this account is probably about 70% invested in stocks and the other 30% is a money market fund. And the next account is the 401k. So what it is, it's basically a retirement account. I also contribute to it via work and I pay my 401k before I pay any of my taxes. I also started contributing to this account back in 2023 when I started my first corporate job. And the benefit of 401k is that it's 100% invested in stocks as I don't have to do the investing myself. At this point, I have $36,250 in this account. I didn't include any employer matches on this account because Amazon is kind of sneaky and you need to work for more than 3 years for the employer matches to vest. So I'm not counting on that. I'm not including that in my total net worth. And this is only the money that I contributed myself. The last section we have here is Roth IRA. This account is pretty similar to an HSA as in investment gains aren't taxed in this account, which is a pretty good thing. I started contributing to this account back in 2022 because you don't need to work a corporate job to contribute to a Roth IRA account. At this moment, I have about $36,000 in this account. I think this is on the higher end considering that I only started contributing to this account back in 2022, but that is also because I use backdoor Roth as well as mega backdoor to get this account to this number. But if you're curious about what it is and when are the use cases that you want to start using those, make sure to comment under this video and I will make a video on that if there's enough people curious about it. But those 3 accounts are my total tax advantage accounts. And as we can see over here, that brings our total to $81,682 in my tax advantage accounts. To be honest, besides the HSA, I can't take any of the money out in my 401k or Roth IRA before I retire. So I think this money is a little bit on the higher end, but I'm also okay with it because I think I have enough money that is sustainable in my other accounts. But now we only have one category left and that is stocks and crypto. I put it in the last because that is literally the priority in which I contribute my money. I don't really invest in stocks and crypto using my after money at all because most of the investments are done through my retirement accounts. For stocks, I have a total of $43,250. I would say more than 90% of this comes from Amazon stocks because I get those stocks as part of my income, but I don't really invest in a lot of stocks myself. And on a similar side note, I have $1,200 on my crypto account. I only started investing on this account probably a year ago, but honestly, with how volatile crypto is, I don't even think I'm gonna up it by much. So my total stocks and crypto value right now is at $44,532. And with that, that brings my total asset to $236,215. And because we have to subtract the liabilities from my assets, that brings my total net worth to be at $223,276. And that is my current asset at 25. But if you know me, I always end my money ramble videos with some analytics and reflection. The first question is, how would April from 10 years ago feel about my progress? I really enjoyed the process of saving money ever since I've earned my first penny at my first part-time job. So I would say I'm proud of myself for all the progress that I made over the past 10 years. But at the same time, I also have this feeling that it's not enough. And I think the reason of that is probably because 2 years into my career, I started getting the sense that I don't want to work in a corporate job forever. But because of that, I always feel like I don't have enough to retire, which is also true. But maybe that means I should start calculating a FIRE number so that I can at least know how well I'm doing with respect to my FIRE number. Question number 2 is, where do I think I could have done better? Looking at my breakdown, I think I know exactly where the issue is, which is that I'm too scared to invest my after-tax money. And because of that, most of my money are stuck in my interest accounts, which earns a below inflation interest rate. So perhaps a way to tackle that is to contribute more money from my payroll so that all the investing are automated. The third question is, what are my plans for next year? As I already mentioned, my day job is really unstable right now. That also means that I don't really have any goals with respect to how much I want to make because I feel like these goals could be interrupted at any moment in time. On a side note though, I also want to make more money ramble vlogs in the future, so I guess that is also something that I'm hoping to do more in this coming coming year. That brings me to my question. What kind of money videos are you interested in as a viewer? In the past, I've done what I spend in a week, and this is my first time trying a net worth breakdown. And there's also other videos that I'm interested in making in the future, such as my investment portfolio, my career journey, my 10-year financial journey, and so much more. So let me know if any of these pique your interest, or if you have other suggestions for my future videos. That would be really appreciated. Make sure to drop your comments below, like my video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. In the meantime, this is a video that I made in the past about how much I spend in a week in Seattle, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. I'll see you next week. Bye!